before the game. He said, you got to wonder about the coach. Should have got him some more shots from beyond the arc. At least wait till the guy misses, right?
Well, you want to certainly try to Nicholas. I think he's got to be a little bit more proactive with the ball. I mean, he's open in there. I mean, he's there. Right there. I mean, he was wide open.
Short jump shot, no good. Scowen the rebound. Waves lead by half a dozen. Waves 4-7 on the road this season. Jackson. Baker looking for his 4-3, in and out. And Davis almost had the rebound, but it's going to be a foul on Pepperdine.
Maybe a shooting situation. If it's a foul on Pepperdine, it should be their 7th team of the half.
We are going to take a break. We'll get things sorted out. We'll be right back. 6-point game. Welcome back to the WCC Game of the Week. Pepperdine leads Portland 25-19. West Coast Conference fans can get up-to-the-minute news, videos, and championship information by logging on to the official WCC website at WCCSports.com. Find exclusive conference gear and follow where your school stands in the latest Commissioner's Cup standings by bookmarking WCCSports.com. And those kids are on it all the time. You can see, look how excited they are.
I know, they're excited. Great to see kids at the game. It's a good atmosphere to bring young people here to the Child Center, which, you know, this Child Center is a beautiful facility, and they've renovated it. And as you know, Ari, 3 former presidents have spoken here. Now, what can you say? 3 former presidents. Bill Clinton spoke here. George W. Bush spoke here. And Ronald Reagan gave one of the commencement speeches when this facility was built. So it's kind of an iconic building. And, in fact, one of the referees is Nixon. Now,
different Nixon.
Different
okay.
Nixon.
Yeah,
but
still,
still,
it stays with our presidential theme.
You bet. You bet.
But, you know, Ronald Reagan spoke here 3 days after the building
That's
opened.
right. That's right. So this is a sister school to Notre Dame. Portland and Notre Dame are really joined at the hip, and the referees are going to look.
See, I think Malin, it was a push in the back on Vandemars underneath. I think, look at that left forearm.
Yeah, there was a definite push. Well, Malin is a big man.
Yes, he is.
To put it mildly. And Malin doesn't have to push you very hard to move you a long way.
And this I don't understand, Coach, that Vandemars is not at the free throw line, it's Rogers. So I don't know if they were looking at a different foul there than we were. But Rogers at the free throw line for the 1-1, and he gets the first one to go. He's a 70% free throw shooter. Malin's listed at 300 pounds.
Listed.
Yes.
Is the
key word.
Operative word there is listed. But he's definitely could be above that. And I like Malin. The more I watch him, he's got very good skill level, and he just has to improve his cardio. And when he does that, he could be on the floor quite a bit.
Another turnover for Pepperdine. Reinfeld into the paint, short on the shot. DeFreitas the rebound. We're near the 3-minute mark here, first half. Jordan Baker's going to push. That's the one thing with Baker is he sometimes gets himself in trouble. Tilkey, the two-handed dunk.
Boy, great play by Raines. How about Rogers, rather? Rogers just a beautiful job to get back in the passing lane and deflect that. And Tilkey, as you know, a sprinter. You saw that. I mean, he's the guy that ran 100 to 200 in high school. I mean, he is quick, and when he gets ahead of everybody, there's no catching him. Oh, look at the here come. How do you like Portland? Here they come.
Tilkey leads the finger roll short. Nicholas is there, a couple of pump fakes, and we've got a tie game at 25. Nice run from the Pilots.
Well, Eric Revino kept saying, you know, we're pretty good in transition. So here's the deal. You got to get in transition. You got to get it going.
7-0 run for Portland over the last 3 minutes. Baker open three, short. And a foul on Portland. Just their 4th team foul. Show off the athleticism here of Tilkey.
Well, Tilkey got ahead of the pack, and they found him, and really a nice play by Rogers to deflect and give it to him. And of course, Tilkey easy play for him.
Jackson, that three was halfway down and pops out. Vandemar's the rebound. Chance for the Pilots to retake the lead. And DeFreitas is called for a foul on the block. Portland in the bonus. Nicholas to the free throw line. Tilke gets a nice round of applause.
Nicholas at the line to shoot one.
Nicholas has got 6 points in the game. He's 1 for 2 from the free throw line.
You know, Ari, I think what's unfolding for Pepperdine is they were very effective and successful shooting the long ball early. So, you know, you get a mindset of, okay, I made 3 or 4 of these. Now you tend to live with that shot. And they've had decent looks, but the ball has not gone down. And I think now you have to make an adjustment if you're Pepperdine. See if you can put the ball near the rim, try to attack inside, and then play in to out.
The Pepperdine now just 3 of 8 from beyond the arc. All 3 of those makes coming from Jordan Baker. Full court pressure from Portland. 1:48 to go in the first half. Make sure to stick around at halftime. We're going to show you highlights of games this week in the WCC. Coach will break down the first half, give his analysis. All that coming up at halftime.
And don't forget, Portland still has 2 fouls to take in the last 143 without penalty. So the Pilots pick it up defensively, take a few chances, don't foul in the act of shooting, but get aggressive.
DeFreitas, bounce pass, Baker from 15, and he airmails that one. Pepperdine 0 for their last 6. It's Bailey, and Raines got a piece of it. Maine's Portland basketball. Good hustle from Jet Raines.
Good recovery by Raines.
Yes.
I mean, he came all the way from the other side of the floor. Raines has been a pivotal factor for Pepperdine in the first half. Gave him a couple scores, good defense. I think you've got to attack it. Look at Vandermars. Vandermars right down in here is the guy you want to try to get the ball to if you can. Give it to him there. Now see what he can do. In to out.
Rogers penetrates. Shot clock now under 10. Bailey, a lot of traffic, and he gets fouled on the arm. So Bailey to the free throw line. Bailey wearing that protective mask as he had his nose broken against Colorado State all the way back on December 22nd. Got to be quite an adjustment to get used to playing with a mask.
Oh, it's
like
tough.
that.
Oh, yeah. Bailey, I'm sure it took him quite a while. I mean, now he's kind of in the flow and active, and you get to the point where you're used to wearing it, and you can't take it off because you feel like it's just part of you, but you got a broken nose. I mean, you need that protective mask on you. Bailey's had a nice first half.
He has. Tilke back in the game. One more free throw for Kevin Bailey. Bright future for Bailey, just a sophomore. Portland up by 4 points, less than a minute to go first half.
Yeah, pressing because they've got fouls to take.
Austin Mills gets it into the front court. Warren Jackson on the bench, and Pepperdine wants and gets a timeout. Marty Wilson wants to talk things over. 47 seconds to go in the first half. And his team's gone cold. They were really ice cold for the last through the 11th. As 9 men's and women's teams compete for their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Visit WCSports.com today for complete event and ticket information. You see our 2 teams there highlighted. Do you think this league, if the season ended today, and let's say BYU doesn't win the conference title, do 2 or 3 teams get into the NCAA tournament?
Well, 2 for sure, 3 is dicey. I think it really depends on how BYU finishes. Certainly BYU had 3 last year, and well-deserving. I think the Cougars can make a nice run at it.
The loss against San Diego will not help their cause, though. That came on Thursday night as San Diego had a very good week. Mills' 3 is off. Pilots can hold for the final shot.
See if they do it. I think that would be the prudent move. And you know, this is, again, good decision by Tilke. Get it to your leader, Rogers. Understand time and score. And see if you can run an effective play. And are they going to get an offensive Vandermars? You cannot set screens and move. You got to learn when you're setting those screens, be stationary. And Eric Reveno, now that's a tough call right there. But see, Vandermars is definitely moving down and trying to make a little bit of contact. So now here's the deal. Portland's got 5 team fouls. You got 1 to take. So be strategic. And you might allow Pepperdine to waste 3 or 4 seconds bringing it up and then foul them. Force them to take the ball back out again. There's no reason why the Pilots should not use a strategic foul here just to try to eliminate a last-second shot. They want to foul him. Foul him. Foul him.
Jordan Baker. They don't foul, and Jordan Baker misses, but it'll go to the free throw line. Nice, strong take by Jordan Baker. But I agree with you, Coach. I don't understand why they didn't use that foul out on the perimeter, and they would have forced Pepperdine into a tougher situation.
Yeah, here's Baker, and they may have had the mindset to foul, but they couldn't catch Baker. He had an opportunity right there to foul him when he came off the screen, and actually the Pilots were fortunate that Baker missed the layup.
Baker gets the first free throw. A 67% free throw shooter on the season.
If you're Marty Wilson, don't forget Stacey Davis has 2 fouls. That's why he has not played the last part of the first half. So Davis has the 2. I'm sure Marty Wilson feels, look, if we can get in a couple of points down, well, they're 3 down, you know, might feel pretty good about it.
Riley. Got it. Tanner Riley.
How do you like it? Riley hadn't made a shot this afternoon, but I think the official's going to look at it, but it seemed to be good. Tanner Riley, how do you like it, Portland?
What a finish to the first half. Let's take a look here at the clock.
Watch Riley. Is it out of his hand?
Well, it's closer than I thought.
I tell you, it is much closer. The official's going to have to take a good look at that. Let's look again. Is it out? Ooh, it may not be out.
That was really close. So the officials
Here it
will
is,
look at it.
3.3. This is a great look. 2.
Oh, it's out.
It's out.
Yeah. Tanner Riley.
Close, though. Almost reminded me of the Arizona-Colorado game earlier in the year. That's the closest one I've ever seen. And the officials deemed that one as no good. In Arizona, Colorado made the last second shot. And Arizona won it in overtime. So let's see. I'm not too sure if it wasn't 0-0 and it was still in his hands.
I'm glad that we don't have to make this call.
This is almost a duplicate of that Arizona-Colorado end of game. Now this is
it's
end of
out
half.
right there, and there's still .1.
Yeah, that angle shows it's out with .1. Unless we
That's
froze
good
the
fun,
clock.
though.
Did we freeze the clock though? Is the clock still running?
Well, let's see, guys. Keep rolling it so we can see the clock. Yeah, it was still rolling.
All right, Ari and I are saying it's good. No good.
No
There you
good.
Go.
Oh,
No good.
wow.
All right.
They wave it off.
Oh, God.
That's the end of the first half. So it's 29-26 at halftime. Portland does not get credit for the 3. Great entertaining first half. A game of runs. We are going to go through highlights from this week in the WCC and have lots of other stuff coming up at the half. We'll be right back. We're set for the second half of our WCC game of the week. Pepperdine visiting Portland. Portland leading by 3. And Coach, when you're looking at the stats, you pointed out to me Portland did a much better job of getting to the free throw line.
Well, they did. I thought that was really pivotal for the Pilots. 9 out of 10 from the line for Portland in the first half. Only 1 of 2 for Pepperdine. So they've got to do a better job of at least trying to, get it even at the foul line and find a way to get there. So that means you got to get the ball inside, Ari.
That's what you talked about. Those early makes from beyond the arc. Pepperdine fell in love with the outside shot and did not go inside very much, and that's what leads to very few free throw attempts for the Waves.
And 2 fouls on Davis. And don't forget, I think Davis is a guy that can't score in there. So you don't have Davis in the game, and that might eliminate some inside opportunities for Pepperdine.
Presley's got to get it up, and he connects. Bryce Presley.
Yeah, Bryce has really earned more playing time by really doing a good job at the defensive end and being opportunistic at the offensive end. Big guard at about 6'4".
Just a freshman. Davis, another freshman. He's going to work. Can't finish. DeFreitas working hard, keeps it alive. But Rogers comes away with it for Portland, and then Jackson steals it right back.
Great steal by Jackson. See if he can do something with it.
Jackson goes to the ground, loses the handle. It'll be Portland basketball.
And Jackson may have gotten hurt again. And he went down hard, and he's limping as he's coming back on defense.
Yeah, he went out of the game in the first half to have his ankle looked at. He'll stay in the game right now. Both these teams looking for their third win in conference play.
Now Davis, who has 2 fouls, is guarding Nicholas, and they like to open a side for him. So would that be good news for the Waves if Davis picks up his 3rd foul early in this second half?
Presley misses. Vandemars, they bat it around like a volleyball. Bailey comes up with it. It's Nicholas, and he's stripped. Pepperdine's got the basketball, trailing by 5. And Jordan Baker is bumped by Derek Rogers. Let's revisit the final shot of the first half. The coach is gonna, rightfully throw me under the bus here. I thought this thing got off in time, but what we learned from the officials is it's the clock that's above the basket that counts. That's the only one that counts.
That's the only one that counts, and the clock above the basket was at 0. And that is the only clock that the officials look at. And so the officials felt, rightfully so, that the clock is at 0, that the shot does not count.
Scowen knocks down the triple. Scowen's first 3 of the ball game. He now has 5 points. And Scowen, an outstanding 3-point field goal shooter. 47% on the season, 51% in conference play. Rogers. Looks like he didn't want to take that shot. He misses it. Ball out of bounds. It will remain Portland basketball.
You're right. I think Rogers would look at pass. I don't think he ever committed to the shot until he said, well, there's nobody open, so now I've got to double clutch it and see if I can get it up.
Rogers gives to Presley. Presley in the corner. Now it's Nicholas.
And now it's zoned by Pepperdine, so you get a good look at that 2-3 zone.
Vandemars. Tough shot, yes. Thomas Vandemars. And Vandemars has got 8 points.
It's a big-time shot by Thomas Vandemars there. That's not an easy one. I love the jump hook. Tough to block. Didn't have a great angle, but beautiful release.
Jackson to Scowen. Scowen, fade away. No, it's really not his game. Presley brings it up for the Pilots. Right back to Vandemars. Jump hook is short this time. The Freitas pushed him out a little bit, made it a tougher shot.
And I think that's a big point. That's what the Freitas has to do, get him further away from the rim.
Nice rebound by Kevin Bailey. Scowen had a hand on it. Bailey comes away with it for the Pilots. Based on their points per game at under 60, I didn't think of Portland as a team that would want to run this much.
Yeah,
but
I think they do. I
Yeah.
think they like to run, and if they get opportunities, they will definitely take it. Now, to do that, you've got to get some defensive rebounds to initiate the break.
Vandemars gives it up. Bailey, and he loses the handle. It's going to be out of bounds. Still 14 on the shot clock for Portland.
Good job so far, though, by Stacey Davis not to pick up that 3rd foul early in the second half. Keep him on the floor. Now he's got to be productive. I like that out of bounds. I like when you got a big guy, Ari, just throw it up there and let him get it.
At 6'11", Vandemars makes it look easy. Less than 16 to go, second half. The lead is 6. Been a long time since Jordan Baker's made a shot. Made those 3 early 3-point field goals. And a late free throw. He's got 10 points in the game.
Now, Bailey's done a pretty good job defending him, and he's kind of gotten right up on him and not allowing him anything easy. That was blocked from behind.
Yeah,
good block.
Presley. And now it's Bailey. Pilots energized.
No travel. Wow, that was a long kind of step and a half by Bailey. That was kind of an NBA score. That's
yes,
good.
It was. This isn't the Rose Garden, right?
No, it's not. I don't think so.
DeFreitas gets the basket off the glass. 6-point game. They've been really getting a lot of touches to Vandemars. Let's see if they can get it to the post. Nicholas gets it to Vandemars. Like you, Coach, I agree. I love to play inside out, even if he doesn't shoot this thing.
And he does a good job of finding people on the perimeter.
Rogers can't get the shot to go. DeFreitas the rebound.
I think you've got to get some screens for Baker. He made a good point. It's really important that he gets off and gets some shot attempts.
They got a pretty good look that time. Couldn't get it to go. Rogers misses, and we've got a foul.
It might be Nicholas on a push-off. It might go the other way. I know Davis and Nicholas were competing for that rebound. They may get Nicholas on a push.
Well, Bailey might have gotten away with the travel, but he gets the two, and the Pilots lead 37-31.
Well, Portland's up 37-31 with 14:24 left in the second half. So I thought the out-of-bounds play was really effective. Here's your ball, and here's your screen. Now they're going to screen, but Vandemars does not come out on the screen. Now you stop it here. Here's the screen. You've got to have vision because they do a great job, does Portland, of lobbing the ball inside the Vandemars. Now, one thing, Ari, brings the ball down. I don't particularly like that, but he's got the presence of mind still. Nice touch to get it back up and in. If you're defending him, if it's DeFreitas, if it's Davis, you better have some vision on the guy taking it out of bounds. And Vandemars, you cannot relax when you're defending him inside. I thought that was well executed by Portland.
Nice job from the Pilots. Jackson gives to Baker. Pepperdine's had a hard time getting open looks in their half court. Scowen, that's a blocking foul. Well, you know what? We look at this replay, Coach. Scowen, I don't think was even looking at the rim when the foul occurred. He knew that there was contact, but they're going to give him shots.
Ehlers is the player that steps in, and I think would have been in pretty good position to get that call had he not moved. And if you look at it, see, he's still kind of sliding, and I think Scowen said, uh-oh, somebody's in my way.
Well, Scowen misses the first free throw, and that's rare. He's an 87% free throw shooter, and that's just the third free throw attempted by the Waves today. Scowen goes 1 for 2. It's a 5-point game.
It's really been a big difference in this game. Portland's got really good production of their inside game, and Pepperdine has not.
Reinfeldt didn't want the three. It was a heck of a save by Tanner Riley because it was an errant pass up court. Rogers has been assertive, getting into the paint, and the shot is good. Jake Ehlers gets the two.
Well, you have to really give high marks to the way the penetrations occurring from Rogers. Rogers is really doing that beautiful job of finding players and able to make those plays in midair.
Jackson being hounded by Reinfeldt, finally shakes and runs into him again, and it's going to be a blocking foul. Not a very popular call here.
No, it was not a popular call. And I think the officials looked at each other on this call. Could have been a foul there.
Well, it really wasn't up and in position yet.
Yeah, it took Reinfeldt a little time to get back up after he got on the deck. So Jackson will get to the foul line for a couple of free throws.
Lauren Jackson, fifth-year senior, leads the team in scoring, steals, second in assists. He's 11th in scoring in the WCC. Tilkey and Presley come back into the game for Portland. They instantly get more athletic with those two guys on the floor.
So that may tell you they're going to press full court and try to pick it up a little bit, because normally when Eric Revenue comes with this group, it's possible they could press and use their defense and their speed to try to create a few turnovers.
Austin Mills checks into the game. Full court pressure coming from Pepperdine. Rogers not on the floor right now. Who will bring it up for the Pilots? And almost a turnover.
That's a good reason to press Pepperdine with Rogers off the floor, because they really don't have a point guard on. Now, Presley's going to have to take that responsibility, but he's a guy that's really never played point guard until he came to Portland. And now he's going to assume that responsibility with Rogers out of the game.
Vandemar is to his left. He misses the baby hook shot. Jordan Baker the rebound. Baker's a good rebounder, more than 4 per game. He goes the length of the floor, can't get it to go. Vandemar's the rebound.
Baker has missed some shots already today. I've never seen him miss. I mean, he's had point-blank looks from close in. Normally he gets that in.
DeFreitas sends that shot back. Ehlers thought he was going to have a quick look at it. DeFreitas gets off the floor quickly.
Boy, what an advantage it is to be able to play behind at the post like DeFreitas and then use your shot blocking. Try to keep it in play the next time. Don't knock it out of bounds if possible.
I hear that all the time from
yeah.
coaches, and you guys are absolutely right. I think that they just get excited and want the fans to awe at the fact that they smack it into a third run. Tanner Riley. No on the triple, and there's going to be a foul against Pepperdine. And the fans here.
They're giving the officials a little bit of a what for, do you think?
Yeah, the Bronx cheer we're getting here in Portland. Ehlers will inbound it, freshman from Corvallis. 2-time Oregon 5A State Player of the Year. Vandemar swings it to Tilke. And Jackson the steal. And a scramble for it, and the Pilots have it. Shot clock never reset. Apparently they didn't consider it was a full turnover, but now the officials looking at it saying, yes, it was a steal. Do you agree? Did Jackson ever really have control of the basketball?
It didn't seem like he had full control, but the official is going to say, I think they're going to talk about this one. It looked like it was a deflection to me, but if one official feels like he had possession, then they're going to reset that shot clock. And now they talk about it. Your call was right. I didn't think he did, but I didn't want to be wrong twice today with the end of the game, end of the first half shot in that one. But I think that's the right call.
Five-point lead for Portland over Pepperdine. Take a look at the games coming up later today in the WCC. LMU and Gonzaga at 5. San Francisco at BYU at 6. And I think you agree, that the game that everybody's wondering about will be the final game of the day. St. Mary's at San Diego. That game at 8 p.m. So these are the leading candidates for Player of the Year. Matthew Dellavedova, certainly a very strong candidate. Tyler Haws leads the conference in scoring. Do you think that where the team finishes plays a factor in who ends up being the Player of the Year?
I don't think there's any question, and certainly Dellavedova was the Player of the Year last year. I think Olynyk is having an unbelievable year. Elias Harris and Olynyk may take a few votes away from either one. Haws, unbelievable, and of course Foster, a great scorer. So I think when it comes right down to the final analysis, it's going to be Olynyk or Dellavedova. That's just, my feeling. One of those two.
That seems fair to me. And a shot clock violation.
I feel already pretty good about it. They had a Colton Player of the Year. I don't think you could argue with that, because both those players have been superb this year.
They certainly have. Keep in mind, Tyler Haws just a sophomore. He had a terrific freshman year playing alongside Jimmer Fredette and Jackson Emery. Goes away on a mission for 2 years. Comes back a better player. And he's still going to have 2 more years after this season.
Carlino has 1 or 2 more too. So BYU is never going to be down.
No,
they'll always have players.
Jackson, pretty move, finishes with the left hand. It's a 3-point game.
And with Pacific coming in next year, who by the way was a charter member originally of the West Coast. Then it was called the West Coast Athletic.
Jet Raines misses. Davis is there to clean it up. And the full court pressure is coming from Pepperdine.
Yeah, Pepperdine's turned this game around by going full court press, trying to harass the Pilots, trying to force them to turn it over, and they have really missed having Rogers out of the game, because Pepperdine just scored a quick 4 points.
Well, Rogers at the scorer's table. He'll check in at the next whistle. Tanner Riley, the three.
Still a good shot. You
Yeah.
know, Ari, he's missed quite a few. Don't forget he made 3 or 4 three-pointers on Thursday night, but he's got to continue to look for a shot. Might be a quick TO here. I think if you're Portland, it's been a little bit of a blitz by the Waves.
The Waves on top, 41-39, as Scowen hits the three. Pepperdine on a 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and Portland does get the timeout. So 10-10 to go in the second half, and the Waves making a run here in Portland. Nicholas Scowen knocks down the three. He now has 9 points in the game, including 2 threes.
Monday, Todd McClellan and Team Teal packed their bags for 6, opening with a Midwest stopover against an injury-plagued and low-scoring Columbus Crew. Sharks, Blue Jackets, Monday at 4 on Comcast Sportsnet California.
Pepperdine leads by 2, 10-10 to go in the second half, and Pepperdine extending their defense to the full court, and it's turned things around for the Waves.
Well, they've taken advantage of the fact that Rogers was out of the game. And look at the Waves with the great hands and the transition. And more importantly, you know, they do a fine job of finishing. So, you know, Jet Raines again right around the rim. He couldn't make that one, but Stacey Davis, opportunistic, right place at the right time. So Raines has been a real factor when he's been entered into the game. And I thought a really good move that time by Marty Wilson to go into the press, to recognize point guard out of the game for the opposition. And it's really worked well for Pepperdine. Big surge for the Waves to take the lead.
You just saw the numbers for Jet Raines. He also has 3 rebounds, so 4 points and 3 rebounds in 12 minutes of action for the true freshman from Texas. Rogers again, no threat to shoot from the outside as the Waves will back off. Presley, Nicholas, the triple, no. And Jackson hustles for the rebound. He's 1-on-3, and Jackson gets stripped by Rogers, and Jackson tries to save, but his foot was on the baseline.
You might say it was a little overzealous by Jackson, but I like it. I mean, why not? You get a steal, try to get the game going a little bit, get up and down the floor, and Jackson just couldn't finalize, but a good effort.
And he's normally a good finisher. I agree with you, Coach. It was the right thing to do.
And Mills in the game. Of course, Mills was instrumental when they stole the ball the last time. He seems to be a guy that's always at the right place at the right time.
Presley leaves it short, and basket and the foul. Good hustle as Presley stays with it.
Well, this is really a wonderful effort by Presley. He got that one blocked, but you stay after it, and he's got good hands and able to be, again, opportunistic at the offensive end, go right back up strong, and try to complete a three-point play, which he could not do.
But they get the offensive rebound, a chance for a 4 or perhaps 5-point trip for the Pilots. Game tied at 41. Well, you said, both in our pregame show and our open, you were expecting a competitive game where the two teams have delivered.
Yeah, they really have delivered, and both teams, I really feel, have played well. Now, certainly Portland has not shot it as well as they would like, not like they did against LMU. Look at that.
That's a nice block from Kevin Bailey. Rogers gives to Presley. Presley right now does not want the shot. Vandemar's in the post. Big size advantage over Davis. And Vandemar's, the jump hook is good. Davis is only 6'6". There's a 5-inch height advantage for Vandemar.
Yeah, you've got to keep going inside the Vandemar's. As you said, big size advantage. And Davis is playing right behind him. So Vandemar's won't even have to use his dribble much to get a high percentage shot off.
Davis with the left hand. Game tied at 43. Davis now has 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting. I think they got to get him more touches. Stacey Davis been very effective when he's had the basketball.
And he has not picked up that third, so still only with a couple of fouls. He can get a little bit more aggressive in there and try to push Vandemar's outside. There's a fantastic pass by Thomas Vandemar. There's unselfishness personified and really great vision. I love that play.
Because Vandemar's could have very easily gotten his shot off against Davis, who's 5 inches shorter, but instead shares the basketball. You know, it's nice to get Rogers some easy points, because he's not going to knock down jumpers.
He wasn't apprehensive about shooting that one.
No, he wasn't. Jackson can't make the shot. Nicholas, good strength, takes it away from Davis. Vandemar is another nice pass. Bailey loses the handle. Here comes Mills for Raines, and Raines can't finish.
That's going to be a technical. I knew the technical was coming on Bailey. When Bailey took it in, he demonstrated. He went right to the official and complained that there was no foul called, and the official waited for Portland to get possession of the ball. And I think they're going to call a flagrant one on Bailey. I think this is going to be the call. He demonstrated to the official his unhappiness. And I think the official was just waiting for Portland to regain possession before calling it.
We are going to
get a good look at it.
We are going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll get this thing sorted out. But Bailey not very happy. Portland still leads 45-43, 7.5 minutes to go second half. And the officials are continuing to review following this play where Bailey was very upset that there was no foul call. And now we're going to get an explanation. All right, the coach for Portland, Revino, has requested to check the film to see if a flagrant foul occurred. And it clearly was not. I mean, it was a pretty good call. I don't think Davis fouled him, and Bailey was just upset.
Well, he was. I think that's what the official was upset at right there, and I think they're looking at the replay to see if there was any flagrant foul by any player in that sequence. But I think what's going to happen here, it's going to be an unsportsmanlike technical. So Ari, it should be 2 shots for Pepperdine, and then you go to the point of interruption. Who had the ball?
Yeah,
so
Pepperdine
it's not,
had the ball.
Yeah.
It should be 2 shots and the basketball for Pepperdine.
As we know in college basketball, there's no such thing as an intentional foul anymore. They've taken that away. It's either going to be unsportsmanlike, flagrant 1, flagrant 2. And of course, if you get a flagrant 2, that means ejection, and you get suspended. You're out of the game and you lose the next game. As what happened to Tanner Riley in the BYU game. That's what happened to him. And then Portland imposed another game on top of that for Tanner. Now he's back, and so certainly the Pilots don't want to get in that situation again.
But I like what Kevin Bailey did there after the timeout. He went up to the official, tapped his chest, said, "My bad," and said, "It's on me." And then you move on from there. You don't let it linger.
Technical foul.
So free throws coming up for Jackson. Jackson shoots it at a 79% clip from the free throw line. So Portland was charged a timeout because the coach wanted a review of whether or not there was a flagrant foul. There was not, so he gets docked a timeout. So Portland has 2 timeouts left. Pepperdine has 4 timeouts left. And a chance here for Jackson to tie it. The 2 for 2 for Jackson. Game tied, and it'll be Pepperdine basketball.
Yeah,
well, now they're giving it to Portland. I'm confused.
Well, you go back to the point of interruption. So what they're saying is that Portland had possession of the ball prior to all this happening.
This won't be the first or last time you're with me, Coach, where I'm confused. I sure thought that.
I thought so too,
Yeah.
but they said point of interruption. Well, what happened, you remember it was a transition, and,
Yes.
the ball went out of bounds. Remember on the transition, or Portland scored one or the other, because the official waited until the Pilots gained possession of the ball on the missed shot to call the technical. Now he calls the technical, but Portland did have the ball. So that it's not where the foul occurred, it's when the official blew the whistle. So that was correct. They did a good job.
I think it's safe to say the fans here in Portland have not really enjoyed the officiating so far today. But nothing has been decided yet. Game tied at 45. Presley doesn't want the 3. Vandemar's has been busy. He's got 12 points. He's already taken 13 shots. They repost Vandemar's.
Boy, just physical inside. I mean, the Freitas that time was right up on him.
Jordan Baker loses the handle. Jordan Baker has not been effective in the second half. He has been shut out in the second half. Rogers with the left hand, yes.
Fantastic play by Rogers, who's really had a terrific all-around game. Look at it. Well, somebody's got to, nobody's guarding. Thin air is not a good defense. Remember that. You've got to introduce yourself to the guy to make sure he doesn't go in the end for layup.
Yeah, freebie there for Jackson. Jackson's now got 10 points to match Baker, leading the way for the Waves. Presley gets the 2. Bryce Presley having a very nice ball game. He's got 9 points. Presley only averages under 4 points per game. It's a new career high for Presley. The Baker elbow jumper, no. And Baker, coach, is now 3 for 13 from the field. At one point he was 3 for 5, so he's missed his last 8 shots.
And they may get Stacey Davis. And if it's Davis, it's his third. He had 2 at half. And it's a tough cover for Davis. He's given up a lot of size to Vandermars inside.
And Pepperdine's going to use one of their 4 timeouts. As the Waves trail by 2, just under 6 minutes to go in the second half. First matchup back on January the 5th. Back in Malibu.
There's that lob. We've seen that before. Barker did get it. That's the same out-of-bounds play they ran before for Vandermars, but he's out of the game. They ran it for Barker.
Vandermars getting a breather right now. Rogers in the post, and he loses the handle. De Freitas has the basketball. A chance for the Waves to tie or take the lead. We're going to see if they can get Jordan Baker's confidence back.
I think you have to go to Davis and tell Baker, keeps you, if you're open, you cannot get conservative. But I think this young man right here, Stacey Davis, see if he can make something happen.
Mills gives to Baker. Baker got caught up in the air. Mills, an NBA 3, yes.
Boy, how do you like Mills?
Austin Mills.
Wow. Was that huge or what?
Yeah,
and he's like, he shot that like he's a veteran. He said, no problem. I got this one.
Freshman walk-on saying, Coach, I need a scholarship. I'm going to knock down big threes on the road for you. Bailey, it's a long 2 for Kevin Bailey. Mills gets his shot blocked by Barker. Here come the Pilots. Rogers gets caught in the air, shoots it, put back, no. And a foul on Pepperdine.
Pepperdine foul number 1. Jordan Baker's first personal 5th.
Oh, here's Austin Mills, who, remember in the first meeting of these two teams, he was instrumental in that comeback win. And Mills said, well, I think I can take it to the rim. And of course, Barker's an excellent shot blocker. And he made a nice move there and kept it in play and allowed his team to get down the floor. Now Barker will get to the foul line. So he's made a real impact in the game in a short amount of time.
Yeah, Barker now more than 30 block shots on the season. Redshirt sophomore from Canada. Free throw is good. 3-point lead for Portland. And Mills gets stripped by Bailey. Portland's got numbers, almost lost the handle. Nicholas, baseline jumper. Barker up high for the rebound. Fresh shot clock for Portland. Nice steal. What a nice touch pass up court. De Freitas to Jackson, who finishes.
Unbelievable finish, but fantastic play by De Freitas to push it ahead.
High basketball IQ there from De Freitas. The only way that fast break happens is if he gets it out there quickly. If he catches that ball, it's a whole different story.
Oh, look at Austin Mills. They're playing 5-on-4 because they're certainly not guarding Rogers on the outside. Look at De Freitas. You got to get that rebound. You have to find a way to get the hands working to secure the rebound.
We've had a terrific basketball game. Lots of lead changes. And here a terrific play leading to Jackson. Very tough finish. Jackson gets it to go. It's a 1-point game.
Floor.
Leeds lead by 1, 3:39 to go second half, and fifth-year senior Lauren Jackson has stepped up big time for the Waves.
Well, he's had a big second half. There's no question about that. He's also got, 4 or 5 assists, doing a good job of penetrating all the way to the rim. He's been a spark. He's been the catalyst for Pepperdine rather, in the second half. And I thought the Freitas really made a brilliant play there. They steal it, and Jackson, that's unbelievable to switch hands and get it up and find the sweet spot. So you look at what Jackson brings to the table, Ari, and steals and good free throw shooter. He shoots the three. He's had a terrific career coming off that ACL injury. So, he's healthy this year and he's really producing.
Vandemar, jump hook, no. Scowen the rebound. I like Pepperdine with Mills in the game. I think it frees up Jackson to go back to his more natural role of a scorer.
Well, let's face it, Baker's not having a very productive second half. Who knows? Maybe the back is bothering Jordan Baker more than he wants to admit. But I've seen the young guy play a lot. He's missed shots I've never seen him miss. So obviously he's not 100%. And I think Marty just feels like, maybe I sit him down and see what I can do with Mills in the game and run Jackson off the ball.
Coach, you said you thought we would have a competitive game.
We do.
How about this? 7 ties and 7 lead changes. That's a fun way to spend an afternoon. A very competitive game. Freitas loses the handle. Bailey. Nice finish from Kevin Bailey. Bailey's got a dozen. The lead is 3.
Big trip here for the Waves. And, Jackson's got to be their go-to guy. Oh, brilliant pass. They just couldn't finish. Well, they do this time.
Yeah, Jet Rain stays with it. Back to a 1-point game.
Well, you can see the upside with Raines, Stacey Davis. Certainly those are 2 frontline players that will be big for Pepperdine in the future.
Vandemars does not want the 12-footer. Rogers
does not want to shoot it from the outside, obviously. Well, finally, he just says, I got to take it. Now you see, I think that's a smart move. They're not guarding. He should have done that maybe a little bit earlier. He could dribble in and shoot it inside the foul line. Well, now it's a high percentage shot.
Rogers gets the shot to go. He's got 10 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Jackson, the 3, count it.
How do you like Lauren Jackson? Wow.
Game tied at 57. Minute 52 to go. And Pepperdine gets a timeout following the 3. Jackson, 15 points now in the game. And he's been playing on an ankle that's...
This would be a nice one to get.
Well, they've already matched their win total from a year ago, the Waves. So one more win, and that's progress for head coach Marty Wilson.
Pepperdine with 1 foul to take. They've got 15. Portland's got 6. So the Waves can be aggressive as long as they don't foul in the act of shooting.
Rogers inside the lane, in and out. And Nicholas over the top of Raines. No call.
Look at Nicholas dribble the ball on his knees. I like it.
Vandemars from 8 feet off the iron. Rebound of the Waves. Game tied at 57.
The Waves are making a good run, Ari, and they don't have Davis. Well, now Davis isn't on the floor. Scowen's good from perimeter.
Scowen hits the 3, and the Waves are up 60 to 57. That play was set up very nicely, Coach. Very good look for Scowen, who now has 3 made threes in the game.
Now Scowen is a guy that it's on the screener. Yeah, that was a good call, Harvey. I really think the Freitas has played a very good all-around game.
Yeah, he's been good defensively as well.
Okay, the Waves have a foul to take still if they want it.
Rogers gives to Riley. Riley pulls the trigger. No good. Vandemars. Rogers up in the air. Shot no. Loose ball. Freitas has got it. And Portland needs to foul. Down 3. Just 37 seconds to go, and Vandemars has his first career double-double. So now very critical free throw attempt coming up for Pepperdine. They hit the front end, they'll get the back end here in the 1-1. And it's DeFreitas going to the free throw line, just 52% on the season. Well, we've been just praising DeFreitas. We'll see if he can knock down some clutch free throws.
Timeout.
And Pepperdine.
30-second timeout.
Check that it's Portland that uses the timeout, not Pepperdine.
Well, you have to think strategically. If you're going to foul a guy, if you're a Portland, you foul the right player.
For DeFreitas.
And don't forget, Portland burned that timeout when they challenged on the intentional foul. So, you know, they don't have a lot of timeouts left.
Free throw, no good. A chance for the Pilots to either try to cut it to 1 or tie it with a 3. And Jordan Baker with the steal. And now you have to foul if you're Portland.
Boy, was that huge by Baker. He has not shot the ball well, but his defense comes up big. I mean, you got the hands working. And I think Portland did have the mindset of penetration and, you know, kick it out for a 3. But, boy, that was a terrific play by Baker.
Jordan Baker, 1 for 2 from the line today, 67% on the season. And he misses it. Jet Raines kept it alive, and now it's Portland basketball. Nicholas to tie it. Got it. Still 17 and a half seconds.
Well, you got to think of it this way. If you're Marty Wilson, you're saying to yourself, well, the game is tied and you got the last shot, he might have taken it coming in.
Jackson, no. Put back, no. And we're going overtime.
And I like what Jackson did. He attacked and he shot it, giving his team an opportunity to tip it in, but not giving Portland that chance to go full court for the game-winning shot. So, you know, everything worked well, but how do you like Nicholas making that 3? I mean, that was huge.
The big fella Nicholas able to knock down the triple.
Well, he's a gamer, and if you're a Portland fan, hey, obviously the right guy had the ball. And here, Jackson, who's been the go-to guy, gave it a good look, no foul, and shot it with enough time for Jet Raines to try to tip it in, and it almost went. It's kind of fitting this game goes to overtime.
Yep.
A foul to take. You know, they've only got 5 team fouls, and they could not create a foul. There you see overtime records. You know, the Peps are a 2-1, and Portland first overtime.
DeFreitas easily wins the tip. Jordan Baker scowling from 16. No.
Well
executed. The rebound, yeah.
You know, Ari, well executed, no finish.
I think that he should collect that pass outside the arc. He's better out there.
I was thinking the same thing. Certainly Scowen more comfortable shooting from deep than inside the line.
So Pepperdine commits the foul, so the next one will put the Pilots in bonus as well.
Yeah, you got to be alert here if you're Pepperdine. Now, they lobbed the last couple of times to the big man inside. Certainly DeFreitas was more aware of it this time than Barker. They wanted to go to Barker, he just couldn't handle it.
Scowen got his hand in there as well. Jordan Baker has still not scored. He had 0 points in the second half.
Inexplicable.
All 10 of his points coming in the first half. Jackson will drive, put it up, and get it to go. Jackson, 17 points.
Lauren Jackson has been the man for Pepperdine in the second half. He has made big shot after big shot and has had a sensational game.
Barker doesn't even look at the rim, gives to Rogers.
Well, you think Jackson's off of Rogers enough? When the ball gets back to Rogers, watch Jackson, how far off he is.
Barker from just inside the three-point line, and he didn't want to take it, and he had good reason to not want to take it.
It's a good opportunity for a big man instead of settling for the shot they want to give you, use your dribble to penetrate a little bit closer. Now they have to pick you up and something might open up. I think I'll go right back to Jackson again. I think go to Jackson, let him make a play.
Here it is, Jackson with the left hand. No, DeFreitas tip, no. DeFreitas gets stripped by Presley. And Presley is fouled. So 1-and-1 for Presley.
Well, here's the Lauren Jackson. I can shoot off the wrong foot going the other way. Can't get it up off the glass.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is a sweet shot. Very difficult shot. And it looks like every time down, the Pepperdine's going to go to Lauren and see if he can develop and make some kind of a play. And Presley will get to the foul line. This is a one-on-one opportunity. So it's huge. You got to make your free throws late in the game and in the overtime, both teams.
Presley a chance to tie. Spins out. Waves come away with a good play by Stacey Davis to keep it inbounds. Jackson gets a screen from Davis. Davis is open. And Davis, soft touch, yes. Davis now has 10 points on 5 of 7 shooting.
Again, though, it's Jackson finding the open player if he doesn't have the shot.
Timeout Portland, 2:19 to go in overtime.
Well, we talked about
I know, Coach, you're going to like this because every coach likes sharing of the basketball. We have 9 players in double figures, including all 5 starters for Portland are in double figures. And it's not like it's a real high-scoring game either.
No, it's not. And I might say this young man right here, I thought Bryce Presley has also been, a guy that's done well. This is what you really like is Vandermars. Just can't finish it.
Look at Nicholas.
Wow, what a rebound by Nicholas.
Vandermars back to work. And Jackson strips it, but Rogers comes away with plenty of time on the shot clock. And Vandermars brought that ball down where a guard could get to it. Now Jackson with the steal. Jackson gives to Davis, and Davis is fouled and will shoot 2. Jackson is very good on the defensive end. He creates a lot of steals.
And my recollection was in halftime, Pepperdine didn't have a steal. Remember, Portland had 6 steals. Pepperdine didn't have one. But the Waves have really picked it up, and Rogers just lost his footing here. But this is just right place, opportunistic. And the other thing I really like about Stacey Davis, good hands. He took a tough pass in traffic. But you've got to learn to finish and get to the foul line and make big foul shots to seal the deal late in games.
3 consecutive misses from the line for the Waves, and finally Davis gets a free throw to go. The lead is now 4, and that's the critical shot right there. Made multiple times leading by 3 late in regulation where they could not hit the front end of a 1-on-1. And then Portland had the 3 from Nicholas to send it to overtime. Vandermars to his left, and that's blocked. Jordan Baker comes from the weak side.
Was that big, or where did Baker come from?
Pilots look like they're in a little bit of shock right now. Where did that come from?
All right, get your formations right if you're Pepperdine. Have your patience and see if you can get a quality shot in the half court.
DeFreitas, the offensive rebound, and a fresh 35.
Wasn't that a good move by DeFreitas to throw it back out again?
Oh, yeah.
Now Portland's going to double bonus, by the way, for Pepperdine. So Portland in a position with 1:10 to go. I don't think they had the foul, but they did. And I thought the block at the other end was huge. Where's Baker? Where'd he come? Here's Baker down low. You see him just coming for the help.
It's good stuff right there.
Yeah, he's a big guard, and kind of surprised Vandermars. I don't think Vandermars obviously didn't expect it.
Jackson, a 79% free throw shooter, and the senior connects on the first one. The lead is 5, and Another miss from the free throw line for Pepperdine. Pilots still have a chance. Rogers is bumped. But if you're Pepperdine, the last thing you want to do there is commit a foul.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing you don't want to do if you're the Waves. You give Portland an opportunity to set their defense and one-on-one opportunity to get back in the game.
Rogers, a 70% free throw shooter. These would be his 5th and potentially 6th free throw attempts of the day. He's perfect 4 for 4 thus far. Rogers misses the front end of the one-on-one, but Nicholas is there, sets up Bailey, and he misses the 3. Gut ball, Vandemars has it. Rogers will drive and fouled at the last moment, so this time Rogers will get 2 at the free throw line.
Good rebounding effort, though, by Nicholas. Vandemars kept the ball alive. The Waves could not get the miss off the glass. And now Rogers right back to the foul line, and this is a 2-shot opportunity.
That was a brick of a free throw, but he got
How did he make that
there.
free? You know,
He wedged it in there.
I've seen a lot of shots. You don't see. Now, he could not do that again. If he stood at the foul line and probably shot 100 of them.
Yeah.
That ball just kind of died on the back of the iron and fell in. It takes Stacey Davis out of the game, and I think Marty Wilson's mindset now is to get smaller guys on the floor that can handle the ball, because you anticipate being fouled. Even though there's 49 seconds, I don't think you have to take a foul if you're Portland, but it looks like Pepperdine wants to get a ball-handling team on the floor.
With the way Pepperdine's shooting free throws, if I'm Portland, I probably want a foul.
They have not been able to close it, have they?
Nope. Mills guarded by Presley. Now it's Baker.
Now you're inside of 20, Ari. Now no foul for sure. Not what you want to do is play good position, try to get it off the glass. This is a big defensive sequence for the Pilots right here. Pepperdine can put it away if they get a solid effort on the offensive end.
Jordan Baker drives it hard. Great defense. And Portland's got it down 3. Rogers is going to drive and score it. It's a 1-point game.
Well, that was huge. What a defensive effort by the Pilots, not fouling, even though Baker felt there may have been some contact. And then that transition.
8 of 14. At one time they were 6 of 8. Portland 14 for 18.
All right, I think right now, if you're Portland, obviously you're going to pressure and foul, but get aggressive, and you may get a deflection, and it's critical for the Pilots to get the ball in Jackson or Scowen's hands. Get your good free throw shooters with the ball. You got to foul now.
Jackson will shoot 2 in the double bonus. Best he can do is make it a 3-point game. So let's strategize. Let's take it for granted for a moment that Jackson hits them both.
Yes.
Then what do you like for Portland coming the other way? Is
Well,
it Nicholas
first of all,
again?
if he makes them both, I'll tell you what I like for Pepperdine. I'm a big believer. Not a lot of people agree with me, but I'm a big believer that if you don't want to foul, I like fouling, but if you don't want to foul, okay, that's true. I believe in setting your defense, follow me on this, Ari, with 5 guys outside the line, and one of them designated as a wild card to go after the ball. I don't think you should guard anybody inside the 3-point area.
Good thinking.
Now, that's me. I don't see it happening very much in college basketball. I think coaches more or less stay with the guy. You've got a man-to-man responsibility. But I think late in the game, you know they got to shoot a 3 now. So fouling is now, I agree with fouling in this situation. You can dribble the ball up, and if you want to foul, fine. It's not a 1-on-1, it's a 2.
I'm still good with the foul here.
So let's see what Pepperdine does, because one school of thought says foul, the other one doesn't. You know, that's a coach's prerogative, whatever they're comfortable. But I'm curious to see if they even guard anybody inside the three-point line. They went for the foul. Now, you don't see that. I agree with it.
Yeah.
But you don't see it much in college basketball.
Especially, there's still 5.7. A lot of these debates are about when to foul under 3 or 4 seconds, not with this much time to go.
On the way.
So here's my question for you. If he makes the first one, does he try to miss the second one on purpose? Or do you just go ahead and make 2 and then commit the foul? What do you think?
5.7 seconds. I'd say if there was 3 seconds, yes. If you make the first, you miss the second intentionally. And that's something else you got to work at. You got to slam it off the rim.
It's not easy.
Because if you miss the rim, it's a violation. So I think he'll try to make it, and then you foul immediately. You know, to try to let maybe 1 second go off the clock at most, and you still may have a shot. You can still go length of the court in 4 seconds. Okay, so now you got to foul right away. You got to foul right away. Get him right away. Okay, so how much time went off? 4.8. They've managed the clock. So now let's see if Pepperdine, after fouling, goes back to. Now, even if Pepperdine misses, or is, let's say, 2 points, it's still going to be difficult for Portland to go length of the court. Now the question remains, if he makes both of them, foul again.
Well, if you did it the first time, I would think you definitely do it the second time. There's less time left.
It's interesting, Marty Wilson, it's a free throw, but he's kind of using it as a timeout.
He is.
It's good coaching.
So Jordan Baker just 1 for 3 from the free throw line. 68% on the season. And Baker has still not scored since the first half. He rattles home the first one, so it's a 2-point game. What do you expect? You think they're going to foul again if he
I think they
it?
will foul again. I mean, like you said, if you foul the first one, there's your 3-point shooting. You know, Peps and Portland is, you know, not like they did on Thursday night. All right, I think if you foul once, and I think that's exactly what Marty Wilson's going to talk about right here. Try to set it up where the ball is inbounded, and they dribble down, you go after them again, which should knock a couple of more seconds off the clock. Then your scenario applies. You make the first.
Both teams are out of timeouts.
Good move to get the Freitas on the inbounder. Maybe he gets a deflection. Let's see if they go after him. They're trying to. Wow.
Foul was committed by Mills. 3.9. You know, I'm still not convinced anymore if he makes the first one that he has to miss the second one anymore. Think about it. It was 5.7 the last go round. They might have a whole another chance. It could be challenging, but you're just hoping then that Pepperdine misses a couple free throws.
It's possible. It's possible. Certainly I was anticipating that a couple of seconds would go off, but you're still at 4 seconds.
Rogers now 9 of 10 from the free throw line. He's got 17 points, which is a new career high.
I think Rogers is looking at Coach Reveneau. Do you want me to miss it intentionally? And my call is yes. You know, I just 4 seconds is by the time they inbound it. He's not going to have a whole. I think you try to slam it off the rim. I think you try to miss it. He did. See if they can rebound it in.
Well, it was a foul call. It looked like it was a jump ball, and it's going to be a foul on Portland. Boy, that official looked like he was blocked away from the play coach. He had a real tough angle on that. I thought they should just let him play there for a moment.
Well, here's the intentional miss, and it was done well. And, well, you know what they looked like?
Who's the foul?
Well, it looked like it might have been on Nicholas. I thought he elbowed. If you go back, it looked like he used his left arm.
Okay.
And possibly. That's.
Well, Jackson could close the deal right here if he makes them both. All right, one more free throw. They may finally have decided this thing.
It's not over yet, though, if he misses it.
Right. Oh, no, it's not by any means.
But now, if he misses it, do you foul again?
Yeah, I guess the answer is yes. You've done it twice already. Do it one more time.
Although with 2 seconds, you know, they're not going to have a whole lot of time. I don't know if I would foul now.
All right.
Well, now it's irrelevant.
Yep.
So Pepperdine in overtime. Wow, what a game this afternoon.
Good fun, and Jackson with the steal, and that will do it. The Waves come to Portland, and they get the victory 72-68. Pepperdine now exceeds their win total from a year ago. They are now 11-13, 3-8 in WCC play. Portland is 9-17, 2-9 in conference play. Coach, what will you take away from this game?
Well, I take away the play of Lauren Jackson. I thought he, on a day where Baker did not have a particularly good game, I thought Lawrence Jackson, the senior leader, made tremendous plays, and certainly DeFreitas. DeFreitas did a very good job. But I think Marty Wilson may be the star of this game. It's great strategy late in the game to seal the deal for the Waves.
Hey, Coach, great job today. On behalf of the coach and our entire crew, my name is Ari Wolf, saying so long for Portland. Great WCC game of the week. Pepperdine escapes with a 4-point win.